Hello everyone, very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. How are you doing, guys and girls? This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of correlation and regression, we will be taking a look on these muted price developments in the market. If we look at the price volatility for major forex currencies, we have seen for most part of the day there has not been any significant upside or downside move. Maybe JPY is having a strong move. It is appreciating against the dollar, but that same kind of bullishness is not evidently there for other major currencies which are having a subdued day, which are simply consolidating after yesterday's sharp decline, sharp depreciation in aftermath of Mr. Powell's statement regarding the strength of the US economy. We saw the dollar strengthening, and that undertone is there in today's session also. But of course, we have seen the US dollar simply consolidating, holding closer to the yesterday's highs. It is not adding to those gains, and I think the larger play in today's session is going to be of consolidation. We are not really expecting any sharp, significant move on either side. So let us now head to the JForex 4, the newly released trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. This is the USD CHF chart. First, let's consider Euro USD. This is the Euro USD price action. And here, after making this low of around 1.052, we have seen the Euro USD finding support and reverting back 20 pips from those lows, but it hasn't really gone anywhere. If we look at this price action for last 4 to 5 hours, it has simply consolidated, and now only we are seeing this some bullish move on the higher side. Now it's going to be interesting whether it is going to be sustained, or we are likely to see again it reverting back and get closer to these prior swing lows. As of now, the slight momentum is turning in favor of the euro's appreciation. We have seen the similar undertone for other major currencies also, which are showing some retracement from these lower levels. But we can't really say that the medium term outlook has changed. It is still the same. The outlook is still in favor of the strength of the US dollar, and all we can do is look for these retracement zone, and if things stabilize on these higher levels, these opportunities can be exploited for sell on rallies kind of trades in the euro USD and other currencies, where we expect the dollar to strengthen further in today's session, or even in next couple of sessions. The dollar is likely to have the upper hand, and that is not really likely to change unless we see any sharp significant price move on the upside in appreciating manner for these currencies trading against the US dollar. So here, watch out for the euro USD price moves, and as long as it doesn't really break significantly below these immediate swing low of around 1.053, we will have to continue to trade with this consolidation phase. But if things change and if we see a fresh break on the lower side, and if that fresh break is sustained for RM2, then we will have many more reasons to go short on the euro USD while expecting the euro to break below 1.05. So that possibility is looking quite strong. It might happen in today's session, or it might take some more time. It might take even a couple of sessions, but pardon me, with strength being on the dollar side, the bullishness in the dollar is likely to push these currencies on the back foot sooner or later. Now, if we have to figure out if the euro is showing this slightly bullish tendency, and how this compares with other major currencies, then we will have to start comparing these currencies one by one from AUD to the JPY. JPY, when I was preparing for this session, I noticed that the JPY is one of the most bullish currency against the US dollar in today's trading session. That kind of undertone is missing for the euro. Euro is simply consolidating with slight bias on the bullish side, but as I said earlier also, this immediate swing low is going to be crucial moving forward. Now let's start comparing these currencies one by one with AUD as the currency of choice, first currency. For the AUD USD, the things have been slightly more bullish in comparison to the euro. Here it went on to make this immediate 4 hourly swing high right after the start of the US session. For euro, it took much more time, so that is something which we will have to keep in mind. But as the things stand currently, it has made this fresh 4 hourly swing low and it hasn't been able to make a 4 hourly high, new 4 hourly high. But for euro, that is there. So now I think the momentum is more favorable for the euro at the moment in comparison to the AUD. Earlier, the AUD was having slightly bullish bias, but now if things take the turn for the bearishness, if the dollar start to gain further, then I think AUD will be a better choice to go short in today's trading session in comparison to the euro. Let's consider GBP USD now. For GBP USD, here, there is a fresh swing. Our fresh swing low has been formed. The 4 hourly low has been formed just a couple of minutes back. This new low has come in at 1.181, which is not really far off, only 10 pips away from this day's high. So for GBP also, things are turning increasingly bearish, and if it is able to hold on these lower levels, then only we should think about going for a short sale trade. As of now, given the inability of the GBP to hold on the lower levels, we will have to allow it more time to consolidate and hold these lower levels, and then maybe we can think about shorting it for the new trades. But right now, the range is established of around 30 pips. So on the higher side, we can go for a sell trade, and on the lower side, we can think about a buy trade. But GBP is not really a instrument in which you should be looking for buy trade, even of scalping kinds. Rather than that, Euro is going to be a better choice for scalping buy trade. For short sale, the GBP can be considered as the first choice among all the major currencies which we have seen so far, the AUD, GBP, and Euro included. As we expand our gaze and consider other major currencies like NZD, CHF, CAD, JPY, of course, we can even reach a different conclusion. The NZD is also having a better move. It made these days high during the European trading session, and it is not really far off from these days high. I think looking at this charting of the NZD USD, it is apparently the most bullish currency in today's trading session as it has climbed almost 40 pips, that is more than half a percentage point from the day's low to make these days high. And even now, it is not really far off from the immediate swing high. So NZD has to be put ahead of the euro for any buy trade if you are simply expecting the consolidation phase to last longer. Even in that scenario, the NZD US, and if you expect the things to turn favorable, or you can say more favorable for the dollar strength, then the GBP is going to be a first choice of all the major currencies. Now let's consider USD CAD, USD CHF, and USD JPY. We will have to invert the scales and consider the price developments in these major currencies. For the USD CAD, the CAD has depreciated after these days low at 1.344. From those levels, it has risen around 20 feet. If we look at these price developments, the USD CAD was simply in a consolidation phase. There is no significant price move on either side. The USD CAD has consolidated after making these days high at 1.377. It was showing some retracement on the lower side, but now again it is picking up the momentum, and USD CAD is likely to gain the ground further in today's trading session. As the North American session is going to begin, we will have increased volatility for the USD CAD, and given the current undertone, I am expecting the USD CAD to rise towards 1.4 levels. That possibility is looking quite strong for the USD CAD at the current juncture. So watch out for these price developments, and if we see the USD CAD holding around these levels and not correcting towards these immediate swing low, then we will have much more reasons to believe in the USD CAD's momentum. The CAD is being on the bearish side. It is looking as one of the most bearish currency in today's trading session, whereas NZD was the most bullish of all the major currencies which we have seen so far. Let's consider USD CHF. USD CHF. Here the CHF is in line with its European peers. We are seeing the appreciating moves in the euro, and for the CHF similar undertone is being observed, with it making a fresh low, which is not the day's low, but it is not really far off from the day's low either. It is again inching towards the day's low. That puts the CHF on the stronger side, even in comparison to the NZD. I think we will have to prefer the CHF as it is closer to the day's low. NZD is not really far off, but still it is some distance away. Whereas for the CHF, the immediate move seems to be on the stronger side. So on that count, the CHF on the better better positioning in comparison to the NZD. So again, we will have to revise our analysis where we feel the CHF is the most bullish, or you can say least bearish against the US dollar, and we have the CAD as the most bearish of all the major currencies seen so far. For USD JPY, the things have been even more bearish. The USD JPY has continued to decline after making this high at 137.9. There is now 100 pips decline from the higher point of the day, and currently the USD JPY is around the day's low, is exactly at the day's low. So that puts the USD JPY as the most bearish instrument, which gives the JPY as the most bullish currency in today's trading session against the US dollar. Here we saw this consolidation on the lower levels around 137.2 to 137.3, and again here we are seeing a fresh break on the lower side. That puts the USD JPY as the first choice in a scenario where you expect the dollar to remain on the softer side in today's trading session, and if you are expecting this undertone to last for some more hours, then I think it will be a better idea to keep looking for the trades to go short in the USD JPY, or you can that simply means you are going to go short in the dollar and expect the JPY to appreciate further. So we have whole spectrum of possibilities in today's trading session, with the USD JPY clearly acting as the bearish instrument and USD CAD acting as the bullish instrument. So depending on the volatility and your personal preference, you can think about a particular trade with these USD CAD better position for a buy trade, and USD JPY better position for a sell trade. So we have these whole spectrum of possibilities in the currency segment. Now let's turn our gaze to the equity side. Dow Jones Industrial Average is also seeing these sideways momentum. There is not much of an movement in today's trading session after this sharp decline which we observed in yesterday's trading session of more than 1 percentage point, almost close to 2 percentage point. Now, as the things stand here, this consolidation is ongoing with the Dow Jones Industrial Average finding support closer to the 32,800 level. Some more time, and again a fresh dive towards lower level will add as a added confirmation, and we can think about initiating the new short sale trade. Buying on these current levels for the Dow Jones is not going to give us a good risk reward ratio. Rather than that, I would recommend sitting on the sidelines. For the S&P 500, things are not that different. It is also having a similar price trajectory as we saw for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and I think the things are not really going to be much different for the Nasdaq as well. For Nasdaq also, the things are pretty much on the similar line. Let's consider its medium term perspective. For Nasdaq, the decline in yesterday's session was not that profound. It also declined, but it wasn't showing a sustained bearishness, which was there for the other major instruments, major indices for the US. If we look at the price formation for the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average, this bearishness was sustained and also much more in magnitude, but that was not the case for the the Nasdaq. So we have this difference in this strength of the bearish moves in these three equity indices for the United States, with Nasdaq looking as the least bearish and the Dow Jones Industrial Average looking as the most bearish of all the three equity indices. So if we get further bearish confirmation, I think it will be a better choice to short sell the Dow Jones Industrial Average. But if we see some sort of retracement and a fresh break above these immediate swing highs for all the three equity indices, then we will have to change our outlook and start gearing up for the buy trades also. Right now, things are not that clear, so going for a buy trade or a sell trade should be avoided, and we should allow for the fresh break after the start of the US session to help us determine which side of the trade, which side is likely to prevail in today's trading session. So that's all from my side for today's trading session with these conflicting signals being generated in the equity segment, and also we have wide range of possibilities in the currency segment also, with some currencies depreciating against the dollar while other currencies are appreciating against the dollar. So there is also this conflicting divergence, and we will have to go with the individual instrument with the individual currency's strength and bias to think about a new trading choice. So that's all from my side for today's trading session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, do write to me in feedback, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Thank you all for joining in. Have a significantly profitable day ahead. See you next time around. Till then.